Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Rae.
And welcome to PBNJ, Comfort Food for the Soul. And today we're going to talk about deceitful heart and opening your heart to something that is very hard to do, and that's to put your faith in God, to allow Christ to come in and to dwell within us as not only as husband and wife or as individuals or those who are just figuring out what to do with their lives and the direction they want to go. And I was trying to figure out how to open up the statement, and the best way I can tell you is if you go to Luke 24, and he said to him, it says, and their eyes were open, and they knew him, and he vanished out of the sight. And they said to one another, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us to scriptures? And they rose in the same hour and returned to Jerusalem and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with him, saying, the Lord is risen indeed and have appeared to Simon. He that does not know love does not know God, for God is love. When Christ was talking about the commandment, when he was talking about the foundation, he says to Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? Feed my sheep. And in order to have love, you have to allow all the deceitfulness, you have to allow all your pain, all your corruptive activity, your sinful activity, your adulterous activity, all that activity, you have to let it go. If I sound serious today, please forgive me. I'm not trying to sound like I'm not joking, but this is a serious subject when you're talking about the love of someone, the love coming from the heart. You know, when you do everything, if you're passionate about it, do it with all your heart. Do it with all your soul. Do it with all your might, and give it all. You know, it took Christ to show compassion and to show love as he stretched out his arms to say to you, the people, I am willing to die for you because I love you with all my heart. And for him to complete that whole step, that whole step to resurrect and to come from the tomb and to be coming back and then be able to sit with the disciples and ask, why are you troubled? Don't you see that this man right here, that I am the Father is the Son has come down and he has blessed you and he has given you everything that you have and need right here. That's when Christ was like, love is long suffering. When his love is all suffering, then you're willing to do anything for your family. You're willing to lay down your life for your family. If you love friends. And your friends. And if you love someone so hard, when you say you love someone, you let go and if it comes back as yours. If it doesn't, then it never was. if you love something so much that God himself, his Father, will allow to let go of everything he has and give you his only Son. Now, if you go in the Old Testament, people are like, why would I give away my own son? But when Christ came and he fulfilled the scripture, and he fulfilled that law, and he fulfilled that enduring, and fulfilled that judgment, and fulfilled the commandment in order to come back to the commandment, because the commandment is about love. The foundation of love and the foundation of God, if you don't have the three, the heart, the mind, and the soul, and you add them to the law, there's no way you can follow step 1 and be able to go all the way to step 10 if you're not even following God himself, and to follow the laws of Moses, to even begin when Christ says, I came to fulfill the law, doesn't mean that you don't follow the law. You know, if thou shalt not steal, then you shouldn't be stealing. That's that deceitful heart that people say, well, your heart is deceitful. Well, if the heart of men is deceitful, if the heart of men is troubling, then in order to allow God to come in, you got to let your heart turn from stone to flesh. If you allow your heart to open up and to shine. You know, when you see that the picture that people draw of Jesus, that heart, and they show him shine like this, right? And he's showing you love through the heart. He didn't say, well, I'm going to just show just a heart and mind. I'm going to show you all of me. And the biggest muscle that can allow something in, because when you don't allow something in, you just are hesitant. And when you're hesitant, and when you're not allowing the love of your family, when you're not allowing the love of God, when you're not allowing the love of Christ, when you're not allowing all of him to come in and sit within you, you are going to allow yourself, you're not receiving everything. You're hesitant. When you get into a marriage, you know, when he says, do you love your wife? And you take her through sickness, through health. Will you take her or him to the time that they will be on their deathbed? Will you take them when they are at the bottom of the bottom? Will you take them if they are feeling not the same as the same person that you have married them? Will you allow yourself to take your rag and wipe their butt? Will you take yourself and just allow yourself to break, just to get down and says, I'm going to wash your feet. I'm going to take the tears of my eyes, and I'm going to wash your everything, your sin, everything. Your heart is the most vulnerable piece of your body when it comes to love somebody. If you have a problem and you love somebody, you're willing to walk the fire. You're willing to take them by the hand, and I'll say, I'm gonna pull you out of this cave. I'm gonna pull you out of this water that you're drowning in, and I'm gonna pull you up, and I'm gonna get you above this water, and I'm gonna allow you to walk. But if you let go, you're gonna start to drown. And that's what the love of the heart that God is talking to you is, if thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all thy strength. This is the commandment. And I'll write that commandment on your heart. I will make a covenant once again with you, even though you are sinful. He will write it because he will see your heart. Even though man may not see your heart, God sees your heart. You can be the most ugliest looking thing out there, the duckling or the goose out there, and you becoming a swan. I mean, I'm just telling you, God, he sees you. He sees you for who you are. I may not see who you are. I might not know who you are, but God sees you.
Goes all the way around. You could even say to the rich man who looks like he is dressed and has everything, and he donates and he gives this, that, and the other. He could still have a deceitful, ugly heart. And we don't see that, but we judge him as man does on what we can see of him. So we see this upright looking and acting and sounding person when the reality is much less. And the same for the man that you see on the side of the street that has nothing. He's homeless, he's dirty, and he has nothing. But what he does have is God, and what he does share is the things that he has with his other fellow people who are on the streets with him. So you can't judge somebody just by the clothes that are on their back, by the stature they have in society.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
No. Nope.
It might look dusty. It might look a little ratty. It might look It might look pristine like this book, but if you don't know what that person going through, you don't know. You might be entertaining angels. And the reason why I'm saying that, I remember in the streets of Chicago, I was pulling up to a store, and there's this dude that was sitting outside the store, and I went to talk to him, and we got to talking, and I don't know if he asked me for money. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I know God came up into the subject. And then when I stepped away and he walked back, he was gone, like disappeared. And when you never know when you're entertaining angels, sometimes, just like my wife, she picks up folks from time to time. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm happy about it all the time, but she does it because she cares. Now, there are times when she do tell me, she may not tell me all the times who she all picks up on the side of the road, but
You do what you can for somebody when you can.
Yes.
Alex and I were in Cape last week, and we were coming through a traffic light, and traffic was stopped. And I'm like, what's going on? For whatever reason, I was driving her car because she just decided Mom should drive. Well, when the truck pulls out around, we see it's a car sitting there stalled.
Right.
I told her, I said, hey, hang out here for a second. I'm going to go see what's going on. And it was a little old lady. Oh, she had to be 60s, 70s. Easy. And she said, it's just dead. So I told her to put her foot on her brake, turn the key over, put it in neutral. I said, we're going to push it somewhere. I said, if it gets moving, I said, you just steer. I said, we'll go somewhere.
Right.
And all the time this is happening, it's not like we were the only car there. There was plenty of traffic. This is Kings Highway. And after I started pushing, got her going a few feet, Alex is behind me in the car with the babies and has her hazards on. 4 other people pulled over. So sometimes just one good action will cause other people to follow suit on it. But if you never
Chain reaction.
if you never stop, to help, or never think, oh well, I can do that, you may not get the help that you should have. And I was lucky there was a guy that had a tow bar. He's like, pull her over here. He's like, you don't have to push anymore. He's like, I have a tow bar. I was like, yay. But surprisingly enough, just so you know, it's not that hard to push a car on flat ground. It goes pretty easy. I'm 41. I had no issue doing that. I was kind of impressed. I was like, wow, that's simpler than I thought. But I was there in that situation. And I thought I should help.
Well, and that's that act of kindness that I'm not saying that a lot of folks have not done in a while, but the hesitant, because you do want to help folks. Christ talks about feeding. Did you feed me? Did you give me something to drink when I was thirsty?
You're supposed to do this for your enemy too.
You're supposed to do this for your enemy as well.
If your enemy's hungry, feed him. If they're tired, let them rest. If they need something, you're supposed to help them. Which seems counterproductive, but that's what you're talking about with the heart and with love. If you truly love everybody, that agape love, then you will be willing to do these things. And it won't seem so foreign to you. Just to be like, I got it, let me help you. And it's like, if your brother needs something and you have it, you should give it to him. That's just the way it's supposed to go.
And this reminds me, we were talking about God never puts everything more than you can handle. But
Yes, he does.
if you go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, the temptation in your life are no different from what often experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand when you are tempted. He will show you a way out so that you can endure. And we've talked about enduring. Christ talks about enduring. Paul talks about enduring. And when you're being tempted, because you're going to be tempted, everyone's tempted every day, every minute, every second, your TV, your everything it causes you to be tempted. You see when you're going down the road, you see a billboard, and you see that nice steamy sandwich with the melted cheese and mushrooms and with the sauce coming out, and you know you're following this diet, and you're like, man,
your cholesterol's too high.
Man, I just want to taste that nice juicy burger, and that temptation's coming on you. You like, man, but I want to go to the Golden Arches, and I'm gonna stop when you've been avoiding that place like it was the plague, and you pull in and you says, let me get me a number 1 with medium size fries, please. and then you go and you taste it and you're like, God, I broke my diet. I knew I had a 2,000 and such
calories, and I just ate 1,600 with this burger.
I just oh my God, but it tastes so good. And then, you know, especially when you're trying to break your soda habit, you're trying to break your caffeine habit, you're trying to break a lot of habits that you have.
Start small,
and if you start small and big and build up, then when you work on those accomplishments, right? Then you allow yourself to move to other accomplishments, and you got to do one thing with all your heart, and then work it up and keep doing it. But don't forget the first thing, you worked so hard to allow yourself to let go. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, that's the encouragement piece.
Okay.
You know, I am encouraging you that if you're having a struggle with putting down certain things, then work with the small things first. Mm-hmm. Because it's always the little things that get you. It is. I mean,
both ways.
Both ways. Sometimes you say, well, it's the big things. Well, it's the little things that'll
catch up to you and turn into a big thing.
It's
the little things that matter all the way around.
Turn what is it called, a mole into a mountain, or an anthill to a mountain hill, or what's it?
A molehill into a mountain.
A mole in a mountain, and
take a little thing and make it big.
And Christ says, as long as you have the faith of a mustard seed, and you can move mountains, you know. Mm-hmm. So if your faith is as small as a mustard seed, so if you can, if let's pull it back, if you can get a grain of sand, and look how small the sand is, and then you look at the mustard seed and how small the seed is. But what can I do with a mustard seed? Well, where does it come from? What does it grow into? This large tree. Now, I could take a grain of sand and I could multiply that sand. I could make me some concrete, right?
Okay.
And I can make me a foundation. You know, what is love? Love is a foundation. In order to have the commandment, you have to have love. In order to first say, thou shalt not, you first say, thou shalt have love. If you have love, if love is the oatmeal that when people making that meatloaf, you don't eat meatloaf?
I don't put oatmeal in it, man. That's what's wrong with my meatloaf.
When you put that base, they call it the base. Base! You know, how low can you go? You know, when you put that base in there and you allow that when you start building that cake, when you start building.
Before you can go out there and throw that love all around to everybody else,
you gotta love yourself.
That's right.
And it comes back.
You gotta love God and then let God help heal you and what's wrong with you.
Yes.
And truly learn how to love yourself. Whether you're too fat or too skinny or too tall or too short or
whatever.
Too much gray or whatever your problem is.
You gotta accept
You gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go.
And be happy with it.
You just gotta let it go.
That's gone. So glad we're past that phase.
You gotta let it go, and you gotta allow Christ. You gotta allow Christ, and in order to allow Christ, you gotta let him in. In order to let him in, you gotta hear that knock. And when you hear that knock, you gotta open the door. If you allow that door to continue to be closed, there's no way you're gonna let Christ in. If Christ is like, hey, do you know who I am? And say, you've been looking for me. And if you say, well, I've been looking for you. You don't have to go all the way out to Kingdom Come and come back and to find Christ. Christ is like right here. That's where the Holy Spirit, when he says for the Comforter, he says, if you want, ask for the Comforter. Hey, in my place, ask for the Comforter. The Comforter won't come in a lot. If this is all...
He's hanging out with you already. You just gotta acknowledge his presence.
If this is all stone, like Superman's...
Like nothing's getting in.
Nothing's getting in. But isn't it strange with Superman that you need kryptonite to allow yourself to be defenseless? You ever thought about that? You have to have something that's green, which is supposed to be good for you to eat.
I went to envy on that. When you said green, I thought that's where you're going. I thought you were going to go, well, that's because it's like the color of envy.
No, I'm talking about...
The green-eyed monster.
The green-eyed monster, yes,
envy.
but
okay.
Green. So what is green? Well, blue. What is blue? Those colors are calm colors.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? It takes something that we take for granted, as in, i.e., those common colors.
Okay, no, we don't take this for granted because do you know how many people cannot be defenseless? Do you know what it is to be able to take down your own walls?
The walls of Jericho?
Nah, I mean yours. Yours, Jason. That is a common problem for so many people.
Right?
Are you kidding me? I bet they wish they had a stick of kryptonite. I'd be like, I want to hold this, and now I can be sensitive. Now I can be emotional. Now I can let all these things in because that is, wow, you're asking a lot. And I'm not saying this, I don't know that many men out there, but it seems like a stereotype problem is that men have that to where they need a bar of kryptonite to come in there and thaw that out or something because you can't get in.
Right.
We are the emotional ones. However, we have a big blockage too because of your past whatever's you got going on.
And this brings me to a point that we've been working on this, and I said, man, I know these two go together, right? But I'm going to say what Christ did, and then I'm going to go back to Amos. All right. Christ says, what manner of communication are these that ye have one to another as ye walk, and you're sad? So how can two people walk in the same direction, right? Mm-hmm. And cannot agree? Cannot agree. If you can't agree, there's no way that you're going to allow Christ, if there's two or more, right here, and Christ is in the midst, and y'all are full of love and joy, heart, and y'all are building up this foundation, and you're up there, hammering away, and one side of the house is this way, and the other side of the house is this way, and then there's cricks in the fixture, and the nails you're using was straight, and the other person's using a screw nail, and no one's in the same.
If we're not talking and we're not aligned together, there's no way we can walk together.
There's no way you can walk together. There's no way that where God talks about. Be of like-minded. Be of like-minded. Mm-hmm. Because if we are all walking and like-minded, don't matter culture, don't matter race, don't matter religion, if we're all in it together, like-minded, going in the same direction, with the same heart, with the same pulse, right? No way we can be the body of Christ if each one of us are supposed to be the fingers, the toes, the nose, the everything, the head, the guy that's pushing the cart and going, we're going that hey, you know, if we're going that way and we're picking up this cross and we're running with it, right? You're gonna follow me, right? And I look behind me and I see all these stragglers back here. We're all supposed to be walking shoulder to shoulder like this, you know, like this, right? Locked in, right? If we're locked in, man, we got this like rice on beans. You know what I'm saying? We're married up to like this on PBNJ. You know what I'm saying? We all neck to neck up in this joint.
So, if you're like-minded,
Then your heart is in it.
all right.
Your heart is in it. There's no way you can be all deceitful, because if you deceit, if you're full of sadness, if you're full of all this emotion, if you're full of this all this junk up in here, and you gotta get you a sauna. Yeah, well, you know, get you a sauna, you sweat it out.
I want to buy a sauna, thanks.
You get the sauna, you know, you gotta sweat it out. Well, in order to sweat it out, you gotta allow Christ in. You gotta allow God in. You gotta let all that doubt out. See, that's the reason when every time you run up and down these streets and you see these different buildings and there's supposed to be a lot of sick people in them, and all the sick people's outside and all the healing people inside, then there's no way that we can be all in the same one accord. There's no way, no matter who we're talking about, there's no way that this foundation, this building that's keeping everything out, if all the people that are inside are healed, and it's supposed to be a hospital, right? There's no way that the people who are looking for Christ, those who are looking for God, those who want to be anointed, those who want to have faith, those who want to believe, those who want to love, those who are seeking, those who are wanting to be in the same cake. No, because when I cook with love, dude. I mean, it takes a cartoon like SpongeBob to say, oh, what's the secret of your ingredient? Love.
That's true.
What's the secret of God's ingredient? Love. And if you love somebody, and you walking down the aisle, after you done said, I do. Just like when Christ says, when I come back and I build this church and I'm going up there and I call all those people to come to the wedding, and he says, come. I want everybody to see this, because this is gonna be the bee's knees. When he says the church, let's go everybody, let's go. Look at all these stragglers. And we're not like this. If you're not like this, if you can't do it just like this, and there's all this division going on,
Better.
it's better. It's all this hatred, all this doubt, all this combobulation going on.
Well, what fixes that? What fixes the hatred and the doubt and the conviction and all that going on?
Love.
Love. How do you get that?
You gotta start with yourself.
A renewed mind.
A renewed mind.
A renewed spirit. You've got to put your faith there so he can come in and wash that out. He's got to be able to fix the mind, the heart, and the soul. All of it.
All of it. You know.
Your mind's not going to be there if your heart's not there, and your heart's not going to be there if your mind's not there. They got to go together. So then I can think about where we're going, and I can put my love in it too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And on that note, thank you for another great episode with Jay
And Rae.
PBNJ.
Comfort food for the soul.
Pray, believe in Jesus. Until next time, take your loved one by the hand and tell them you love them.
I love you.
I love you too. Till next time.
I've been here the whole time. Just open your eyes. I have been where you've been. I've done what you've done. I am creator of time. I'm joy and never your pain. Do you know who I am? You've been searching for me. Do you know who I am? I am the great I am. You've been searching for me. Seek and follow me. Do you know who I am? See what you've done with the laboring hands. Beauty of time, from beginning to end. Know the heart, the spirit within. I am the great I am. Do you know who I am? You've been searching for me. Do you know who I am? I am the great I am. You've been searching for me. Seek and follow me. Do you know who I am? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Did you hear me crying from here below? Through the firmament, creator above, we long for you, the great I am.